Good morning, class 10. From today, we are going to start a little different system of studies. Till now, you were doing studies as a combined class of class 10, but now it will be section wise as we used to do in the school. So, from today, for some days now, we are going to do the revision work. We have done so many chapters till now. In all subjects, you have done many things. Now for some days, we are going to revise things because it will give you an opportunity to clear your doubts, if there are any, to solve your problems. If there is any doubt, any query, you can send your query on my personal WhatsApp number, or you can ask on the class group also. And you will get also an opportunity to complete all your written work if you have missed out anything. Now children, before we start, let me remind you that when the online classes began in the month of April, lockdown was there in Lucknow and you were given freedom to complete your written work on pages, in a rough copy, on loose sheets and staple them, etc. But now, since that lockdown period is over, now all stationery shops are open, so you are expected now to maintain fair copies for each subject as you have been doing in your previous years. Please do not continue to write in your rough copies or in any register or on loose sheets of paper. Now, if you have not yet purchased fair copies for all the subjects, do so today only and start writing everything. If you have not yet written, then start writing everything neatly, in proper sequence, in proper order, as you have been doing in class 9. You know very well in which subject what kind of a register has to be maintained. You know, in English you have to divide the register, first half reader and the second half supplementary, a thin copy for grammar. All that system is same as it was in class 9. There is no change. Okay, so whatever you have done, whatever written work you have done till now, if you have written in rough copy, start copying everything as fast as you can in your fair copies. This is applicable for all the subjects. There are two reasons behind doing this. First reason is, whenever the school will reopen, we will ask for the copies for giving marks. You know that this is your board year, so you cannot take anything lightly or casually. You have to score good marks, and one way of increasing marks, and a very simple way, is to maintain your copy and do all your work neatly and let everything remain complete and intact in one copy. So whenever the schools will reopen in future, we will ask for the copy so that I can give you marks. Secondly, even if the school is closed any day, we can ask that, okay, now roll number 10, tomorrow submit your English, bring your English copy to school. I have to see whether you have finished all your work or not. Okay, so we can ask like this also. Any subject teacher can ask a particular student to bring your copy to school and show whether you have done your work or not. So I don't want anybody to panic at that time. I don't want anybody to get a scolding from any teacher that why haven't you done your work. That is why keep yourself safe, keep yourself up to date, complete all your work, keep reading things. And now from today we are going to start with the revision work so that you can clear all your doubts and we can keep on proceeding with the next chapter. Now today we are going to start with a letter to God. A beautiful chapter, I can say. This is one of my favorite lessons because this shows the feelings of a common man. This shows that we the people how much intense and deep faith we have in God. In this crucial hour, the period which we are experiencing now, when everybody is in a helpless state, everybody is seeing the dreadful disease coronavirus being spread all over the world. At this juncture, what are we doing? When we see there is no medicine, when we see there is no vaccine, what are we doing? We are only praying to God that please keep us safe, please keep our family safe, please keep the humanity safe. We only expect that God will protect us. We only hope that God will save us. God will keep us safe. Isn't it? So for every problem, big or small, whatever problems we face in our lives, the one and only permanent hope which we have is help from God. When we see that we are in such a problem that our parents are also helpless, they are also not able to help us, our friends are also helpless, there is no hope of help from our relatives, then at that time what do? We expect, we are completely hopeful, we are 100% sure that no matter what happens, God is seeing everything, God is seeing our situations, and it is God who is certainly going to help us. We all have that unshaken faith in God. We know that it is He who is seeing the difficult times which we are facing, the bad times which we are facing, and we expect, we are sure, we not only expect, but we expect with surety that God is certainly going to take us out of this difficult situation. God is certainly going to help us. So this is the story of a common man who has deep faith in God. You have read the story once, you know what is the story about. The story is about Lencho, who is a farmer. And why has he such great faith in God? What does he do to show his such intense, deep faith in God? What is his reaction when people help him? All this we will read in the story once again. You have read the story once already, so you are very well familiar with what happens to Lencho and in the end how the chapter concludes. Now I am starting with the reading. I will keep on explaining things side by side so that you revise everything and you recall what you did earlier. Let us begin. Before you read, they say faith can move mountains. But what should we put our faith in? This is the question this story delicately poses. Lencho is a farmer who writes a letter to God when his crops are ruined, asking for 100 pesos. Now, this is something strange which Lencho does, which I am sure none of us have done ever. Writing a letter to God. What does this show? It shows his simplicity. It shows how honest this man is, how innocent he is, how simple he is. He believes that when he is in trouble, his crop has been ruined by hailstorm, he is in great need of money, otherwise his whole family will die of hunger. At this critical time in his life, he believes that if he will write a letter to God and he will describe all his problem in the letter and he will ask God to help him, certainly God is going to give a reply to his letter and God will help him. Such is his deep faith in God. Lencho is a farmer who writes a letter to God when his crops are ruined, asking for 100 pesos. Does Lencho's letter reach God? Does God send him the money? Think what your answers to these questions would be and guess how the story continues before you begin to read it. Now let us begin with the actual lesson. The house, the only one in the entire valley, sat on the crest of a low hill. Crest means top. The house of Lencho was situated on the top of a low hill. From this height, one could see the river and the field of ripe corn dotted with flowers that always promised a good harvest. So, since Lencho's house was situated on the top of a hill, he could see beautiful field of corn, ripe corn, dotted with flowers, full of flowers, and it promised a good harvest. The only thing the earth needed was a downpour or at least a shower. Downpour means rain, heavy rain, downpour. The only thing that earth needed at that time to fulfill the need of Lencho and other farmers also was good rainfall, because as we all know that rain is a main source of irrigation to give water to the fields. So at this time, Lencho believed that if it rains properly, then he is going to get a good harvest. The only thing the earth needed was a downpour or at least a shower. Throughout the morning, Lencho, who knew his fields intimately, had done nothing else but see the sky towards the northeast. Why was he seeing the sky? Because he was expecting rain. He expected good downpour so that water could be provided to his cornfields and he could get a good harvest, which later on he would sell in the market and earn a lot of money. Now, we are really going to get some rain, some water. Woman. The woman who was preparing supper replied. What is supper? Supper is last meal of the day. Last meal of the day, or you can say dinner, is supper. The woman who was preparing supper replied, yes, God willing. God willing means if God wishes, we will certainly receive good rainfall, which will help us to get a good harvest. The older boys were working in the field while the smaller ones were playing near the house until the woman called to them all, come for dinner. It was during the meal that, just as Lencho had predicted, big drops of rain began to fall. What a blessing, isn't it? Lencho expected good rainfall, and while they were eating their dinner, it began to rain. Big drops of rain began to fall. In the northeast, huge mountains of clouds could be seen approaching. The air was fresh and sweet. The man went out for no other reason than to have the pleasure of feeling the rain on his body. Which man? Lencho. So in order to enjoy the rain, in order to experience that rain falling on his body, he went out. The man went out for no other reason than to have the pleasure of feeling the rain on his body. And when he returned, he exclaimed, these aren't raindrops falling from the sky, they are new coins. Just see his expression. Just see how happy he is when he sees rain falling on earth. He says that these are not raindrops, these are coins falling from the sky. Why is he comparing the raindrops to new coins? Because these raindrops are going to help Lencho to have a good harvest, and when he will cut his ripe corn, he is going to sell the corn in the market and earn huge amount of profit, which is going to help him to survive throughout the year. He is going to earn a good amount of money. That is why he says that these raindrops actually are not raindrops for me. These are new coins. The big drops are 10-cent pieces and the little ones are fives. With a satisfied expression, he regarded the field of ripe corn with its flowers draped in a curtain of rain. So he could see that it was raining quite well, and the whole field of ripe corn was as if covered with rain completely. And he was very happy and satisfied to see this. But suddenly a strong wind began to blow, and along with the rain, very large hailstones began to fall. Now, the happiness of Lencho was short lived. It was only for a short span of time. Why? Because within a few minutes, strong wind began to blow, and the rain which was falling changed and became hailstorm or hailstones. What is hail? In summer season, or rather I should say in the monsoon season, you will see sometimes, rarely, not very often, hail falling here also in our cities. Last month also we had hailstones. In Hindi we call ole girna. These are small balls of ice, you can say, which fall, and when they become big in size and when they are extensive in number, then they totally ruin the crops. They are very harmful to the crops. They totally destroy the crops. So the farmers never enjoy the hailstorm or the hailstone, because they are a disaster for their fields. They are a disaster for their crops. So as the strong wind began to blow, the rain took the shape of hailstone. Hailstones began to fall. These truly did resemble new silver coins. For some time, the cornfield was covered with hailstone and they looked like new silver coins. But after some time, it took the shape of disaster. The boys, exposing themselves to the rain, ran out to collect the frozen pearls. Which frozen pearls? We are talking about hailstones. Hailstones are being called as frozen pearls by the writer. "It's really getting bad now," exclaimed the man. So as I told you, just after some time, this took a bad shape. The hailstones took a bad shape and they started falling in large number and destroyed the cornfield completely. "It's really getting bad now," exclaimed the man. "I hope it passes quickly." It did not pass quickly. For an hour, the hail rained on the house, the garden, the hillside, the cornfield, on the whole valley. The field was white, as if covered with salt. Everywhere only hailstones could be seen. All crops were destroyed, the fields were destroyed, the valley, the field, everywhere one could see only hailstones, white in color. Not a leaf remained on the trees. So you can just see in this paragraph how much destruction was caused by this hailstone. Not a leaf remained on the trees. The corn was totally destroyed. The flowers were gone from the plants. Lencho's soul was filled with sadness. Lencho was totally sad, totally disappointed, disheartened to see that all his dreams have been shattered, everything has been totally destroyed by the hailstorm. Not a leaf remained on the trees, the corn was totally destroyed, The flowers were gone from the plants. Lencho's soul was filled with sadness. When the storm had passed, he stood in the middle of the field and said to his son, "A plague of locusts would have left more than this." Do you know what is locust, children? Nowadays, in this atmosphere when coronavirus has spread so much all around, one more thing has endangered humanity also, and you can say it is a big danger to the fields as well. That is tiddi. Have you heard of tiddi hamla on television? Tiddi is nothing else but locust. Locust is an English word and tiddi is the Hindi word. So locusts are those insects which cause great harm to the crops. And Lencho is saying that if his corn fields were attacked by these locusts, they would have at least left something. But the hailstorm has left nothing. It has totally ruined the corn. It has totally destroyed his fields. The hail has left nothing. This year we will have no corn. That night was a sorrowful one. All our work for nothing. That means he is saying all our hard work has resulted into nothing. All our hard work has turned into vain. Everything has become useless now. That night was a sorrowful one, all our work for nothing. There's no one who can help us. We will all go hungry this year. He is talking to his family, he is talking to himself also. But in the hearts of all who lived in that solitary house, solitary means alone, because remember in the starting of the lesson we have read that his house was alone on the top of the hill. But in the hearts of all who lived in that solitary house in the middle of the valley, there was a single hope: help from God. That means his family members, although he was so disheartened, he was so upset and disappointed, but his family members still had some hope in their hearts. They were sure that God is there to help. God is seeing everything and God is there to help them. God will surely help them. They had intense faith in God. Don't be so upset, even though this seems like a total loss. Remember, no one dies of hunger. All through the night, Lencho thought only of his one hope, the help of God. He was also very hopeful. He believed that one source of help is still there, and that source is God, whose eyes, as he had instructed, see everything. As he had been instructed means since his childhood, he had been told, Lencho had been told by his parents, by his family, that God sees everything. So Lencho believed that despite all disappointment, despite all unhappiness, sorrow in his life, God is still there. God is surely going to help him and his family because he is seeing everything. He knows why Lencho has entered into this critical situation, what has happened to Lencho and his family, how his fields have been destroyed. Since God has seen everything, so it is God who will help him. All through the night, Lencho thought only of his one hope, the help of God, whose eyes, as he had been instructed, see everything, even what is deep in one's conscience. So Lencho says that God does not only see or does not only hear what we say. God can see deep within our conscience. God can see what we are thinking, even if we don't speak out. It is not necessary that we should sit in front of God, we should close our eyes, we should join our hands and then speak out loudly, God, we are in great difficulty, please help us, please solve our problems. No, this is not needed at all, because God can read our minds. God can see within our conscience, and He is always there to solve our problems, whether we ask Him to do it or not. He does not wait for us to plead in front of Him. God is always there to help us out. So this is the belief of Lencho. Lencho was an ox of a man. What does this mean? That means he was as hard working as an ox. Remember children, in class 9, I had taught you a figure of speech metaphor. Do you remember? Metaphor. I had taught you that in metaphor also, like a simile, we compare things. We compare two things. But the difference is that in a simile, we use the word as or like. But in a metaphor, we don't use. So here also, we are comparing Lencho to an ox. Why we are comparing Lencho to an ox? Because ox is a very, very hard working animal, and oxen are used in fields, isn't it? Farmers use ox for cultivating their land. So Lencho was as hard working as an ox is on the fields. Lencho was an ox of a man, working like an animal in the fields. But still, he knew how to write. That means he was a bit educated also. He was literate. He knew how to write. The following Sunday, at daybreak, he began to write a letter which he himself would carry to town and place in the mail. So he wrote a letter and he decided that he personally would go to the town and put this letter in the letter box, in the mail box. It was nothing less than a letter to God. So whom did he write the letter to? He wrote a letter to God. God, he wrote, if you don't help me, my family and I will go hungry this year. This is what he wrote in the letter. I need 100 pesos in order to sow my field again and to live until the crop comes, because the hailstorm, and he keeps on describing how the hailstorm ruined his crops and how his family and he himself would be in great trouble if God did not help him. He wrote to God on the envelope, put the letter inside, and still troubled went to town. At the post office, he placed a stamp on the letter and dropped it into the mail box. One of the employees, who was a postman and also helped at the post office, went to his boss laughing heartily and showed him the letter to God. Now, when Lencho dropped his letter in the mailbox, and when the mailbox was opened by one of the employees of the post office, who was a postman also, when he saw the address to God written on the envelope, he continued to laugh heartily. Why did he laugh? Because never had he seen such an address ever written by anybody on the envelope. This was something so peculiar to him. It was for the first time that somebody was writing a letter to God and writing the address on the envelope to God. So this man, the postman, was laughing heartily. One of the employees, who was a postman and also helped at the post office, went to his boss laughing heartily and showed him the letter to God. Never in his career as a postman had he known that address. The postmaster, a fat, fellow, amiable means friendly, a amiable fellow, also broke out laughing. So not only did the postman laugh, but also the postmaster started laughing when he read this address. But almost immediately he turned serious and, tapping the letter on his desk, commented, "What faith!" Although he started laughing, but he stopped laughing immediately, and he was astonished to see what deep faith did that man Lencho have in God. That with full confidence, with full faith in his heart, he is writing a letter to God, and he is 100% sure that God is going to reply and he is going to help the 100 pesos which he has asked God to give him. But almost immediately he turned serious and, tapping the letter on his desk, commented, "What faith! I wish I had the faith of the man who wrote this letter." Who is saying this line? The postmaster. The postmaster is saying that I wish I also had the same faith in God as the person has who has written this letter. Starting up a correspondence with God. Correspondence means writing letters, the act of writing letters. So the postmaster says, what deep faith has that man in God that he has started writing letters to God. I wish I also had the same faith in myself. So, in order not to shake the writer's faith in God, the postmaster came up with an idea. Answer the letter. Now, the postmaster did not make fun of that man who had written the letter. Instead, he decided that in order to maintain that faith in that man, who is that man? Lencho, because he had written that letter. But the postmaster did not know the name as yet. So the postmaster says he thinks that in order to maintain his faith in God, in order not to shake his faith in God, he must help that man who has written the letter to God. And how is he going to help? By writing a letter in return. That means he is going to write the letter, and when Lencho will read the letter, he will think that God has replied him. Answer the letter. But when he opened it, it was evident that to answer it, he needed something more than goodwill.